I want to tell you a story with very distinct punctuation. This Wednesday, April 6th, marks the 3-year anniversary of the Shoulder of Pallas. The Shoulder of Pallas is an event where, unfortunately, I obliterated my right leg. It was a few minutes deep into a match, and I had an unfortunate collision with a metal guardrail on that particular afternoon. A few seconds after it happened, I attempted to stand up, and I fell over. My leg gave out underneath me. In that moment, what I wanted to do was curl up on a gurney and be whisked away to an emergency room. Instead, I dragged myself up onto my feet. I stood beside the man who, in 1991, inspired me to become a professional wrestler in the first place, Jushin Liger. And and for the following 12 and a half minutes, I wrestled my heart out. When I got backstage and I took off my brave face, I made the ill-advised move of loosening the tension straps on my neoprene brace, and I undid the laces on my kick pad and removed them. And I watched as my leg came undone on the floor of the Meadowlands Expo Center. And that is the punctuation mark at the end of my story. 2 Sundays ago, I got off a flight from North Carolina, just down 95, at Philadelphia International Airport. And when I turned my phone back on, it started to buzz and rattle, buzz and rattle. And I was getting text messages that said things like, "Hey, have you been online? Have you seen this video? He's calling you out." So I went to CHIKARA's Facebook page, and there was this video. And a few seconds into it, knowing who was responsible for posting it, someone who happens to be backstage at this moment, I thought, this is probably a prank. But by the time it was over, I knew it was not a prank. The video in question was sent to us by Mr. Smooth Johnny Kidd. He's certainly worthy of your applause. Johnny Kidd is a wrestler of legendary stature. And in this video, he proclaims that next month, in May, he will hang it up. He will leave the squared circle for the final time and retire from professional wrestling. And when John retires, a really wonderful and important part of professional wrestling history will go with him. Because John is the last of the original active practitioners of the clean, classy, and clever style of British wrestling that I not only love, but that I played some very small role in helping repopularize a decade ago. And when I watched this video, I'm telling you very plainly, I was moved. Moved right now thinking about it. I felt humbled. I felt honored that this man that I admire and that I emulate, on the day that he will walk away, he's asked for me to face him. And if it were that simple, if warm sentiment and well wishes were all it took for that to happen, I would not need to be here explaining this to you now. But that is not the end of the story. It is not. I had the chance to befriend John at the Tag World Grand Prix 2008 in Oberhausen, Germany, and across a few shared cups of tea in a meeting that was rather charming and somewhat proper and inherently English, we became good friends, and we've remained so to this day, friendly rivals. When I reflect on the Shoulder of Pallas, it gives me a sense of closure, of finality. Because on that day, I felt like I came full circle. I stood with the man who inspired me to undertake the journey in the first place, and that felt fitting to me. And it puts me in a headspace where I can be comfortable, accepting that my body is no longer capable of delivering the kind of matches that people expect when Mike Quackenbush is in the ring. I want that for Johnny Kidd. I want him to have that finality, the closure, so that he can be comfortable when he walks away, knowing that he made the right choice and be content in that. I want that for my rival. I want that for my friend. And you can imagine what that must have felt like to be me, watching this video, calling for you to join him on that fateful day. Unlikely as it seems, asking for Mike Quackenbush to come and do it. And perhaps that should be the end of the story. Yesterday I went to see my doctor. For the first head-to-toe physical exam I've had in I couldn't tell you how long. And unlikely as it seems, he has cleared me to wrestle one more match. I take my responsibilities as the director of fun, CHIKARA, very seriously. And it represents an obvious conflict of interest for someone in the directorship to also function as in-ring talent. So, unlikely as it seems, I will step aside as director of fun for one day only. And my old friend Bryce Remsburg will function as interim director of fun. I want to be clear that this match we are discussing, it is not about title contention, it is not about points, nor will there be any on the line. The match we are talking about is to honor a man that I hold in the highest of regard, with high esteem, a wrestler of the very finest caliber. We will honor him on the day that he chooses to walk away. And when you set foot in that ring, John, it will not be a suit and tie meeting you on that afternoon. When you set foot in that ring, it will not be the director of fun staring you down. When you set foot in that ring in Manchester, England, you will face the master of 1,000 holds. John, you have a date with destiny. May 28th, 2016 is the date, in a manner of your choosing. It will be World of Sport rules. It will be contested across 8 rounds of 3 minutes apiece. 2 falls, 2 submissions, or a knockout. To decide the winner, Johnny King